Hi friends, in this video I am going to start a playlist on Oracle RAC database. Here it will be a first video on Oracle RAC database interview question. Because of my personal experience, like I'm working from last 9 years as a Oracle DBA resource. So on the basis of my personal experience, I'll be going to cover the important question that comes generally in your interview. If you are experienced, like more than 2+ year of experience, so there is a very high chance that interviewer may ask you question related to a rack, because this is one of the important topic in Oracle Core DBA profile. Even in app DBA, means every DBA should have a knowledge of rack database in current scenario as of now. So let's discuss the first question: what is Oracle RAC? So Oracle RAC Real Application Cluster is a database clustering solution that's enable a multiple server nodes to operate a single system, providing a high availability and scalability for Oracle database. It's allow a simultaneous access to a shared database by multiple instances running on a different node. It is a clustering solution from Oracle Corporation that ensure a high availability of a database by providing an instance failure and media failover feature. So as you can see in the diagram, it's yeah. So in this diagram, as you can see, it has a three node system. Means on a cluster where three nodes are there, and every node have their own instance, and those instance are like every node is connecting through Oracle Net Service Cluster access. Through that, it's connecting to the applications. And if you see, every application request is coming here. In between, there is a load balancer. Currently in this diagram it's not showing, but through the load balancer, that request will get distributed across these three nodes as per the nodes traffic. Like if node will have a high traffic, then load balancer will distribute that request to another nodes wherever the request is less. So that's how the traffic managed by the load balancer, and the whole system works. And that is the and every instance will be running on a single database. Like the database will be one particular, but instance will have a multiple here. So in case if instance one is not working, then also your database will be operational. That is the reason it provides instance failover. Like if first one is not working, then also your system can is still working. Like this application request will go to second or third as per the traffic. So that's how this Oracle RAC platform works. And in the another diagram, as you can see here, every node have some services. Like it's running on VIP, virtual IP, and these are connected through a private network that is called interconnect. And it has a listener and services and Oracle clusterware platforms on which it's running. And it has a shared storage in that data file, control file, OCR, voting disk, read log, archive log. These all are present in the shared location. And these all three nodes are like this, whatever the number of nodes will be there, these all nodes will be accessing the same shared storage. And that's how the whole rack platform works. So in another video I'll be discussing the rack architecture in detail, but generally this much is enough to tell you in the interview. And next is, what is cache fusion? This is another very important question. Most of the time you might get in your interview. So let's discuss what is cache fusion. Oracle RAC Cache Fusion is a technology used in a Oracle real application cluster that's enable a cache to cache transfer of data block between the instance in a cluster. Means through interconnect, the data blocks will get transferred through cache to cache, means cache memory to cache memory. So it eliminates disk IO and optimize a read write concurrency by fusing the in memory data cache physically separate on each computer in a single computer into a single global cache. In other word, if I say, Oracle RAC is composed of two or more instances. When a block of a data is read from a data file by an instance within a cluster, another instance is in need of the same block, it is easy to get the block image from the instance which has the block in its SGA rather than reading from the disk. So it's very clear, like every time if the same block you wanted to access it, and the same block is already present in another instance, then another request which is coming for the same block, that should not require to go to fetch the data from the disk. It can directly take it through interconnect from the another instance SGA where the block is already present. That is the whole meaning of this whole phenomena, and this whole phenomena is called as cache fusion. And there is a service called global QE service monitor the instance and this whole phenomena actually. So that's how you have to tell about the cache fusion. The next is explain the concept of Oracle RAC architecture. Oracle RAC architecture involves a multiple database instance running on a separate server. That is the first question that we have covered, with which instance having its own memory and processes. All instance shared access to a common set of data file, allowing them to work together to process the user request and manage the database. There are some advantages of real application cluster that you have to tell. Reliability: if one node fails, the database would not fail. Means still your database will be accessible by the another nodes. And availability: nodes can be added or replaced without having a shutdown of a database. That is really very important thing. Like you no need to restart your database, you no need to go for shutdown. Your database can your nodes can get replaced easily without having any downtime. Scalability: more nodes can be added to the cluster as the workload increase. Means scalability option you have, like if the load is coming more through the application side, like so many application user request is coming to the database, if traffic is more, then you can add multiple nodes to reduce the traffic and IO performance, and then you can get a good performance from your platform as well. Like your database performance will be good after scaling the platforms. So here also you can see it's same diagram, like it's sharing the same Oracle home, same archive file, node 1 and node n, you can say, right? Both have a different instance and share data file and read log files. So the next is, what is the purpose of clusterware in Oracle RAC? So this is really very important. Generally, interviewer ask, what is clusterware? Clusterware in Oracle RAC is a critical component responsible for managing the entire clusterware environment. Means the whole your node setup is actually designed. It's sitting on your clusterware. That's how you can understand it. It's ensure a high availability by monitoring the health of a node, managing the resources, and facilitating a failover in case of node or instance failure. And another word, if you say, the software is running by the cluster read service. This service is really very important. You might get question also, what is CRS? So you have to tell that cluster read service, which is responsible using the OCR cluster, Oracle cluster registry, OCR. This is also a term that there are very high chance that you get a question from this also, like what is OCR? Oracle cluster registry that record and maintain the cluster node membership information and the voting disk, which act as a tie breaker during The communication failure consists of a heartbeat information travels across the interconnect to the voting disk when a cluster is running. So overall meaning is the cluster ware is responsible for managing the nodes and maintaining the node membership and responsible of voting this which act as a tiebreaker for communication. So it's managing all the clusterware related resources. So this is the importance of clusterware that you have to tell. And if you tell at least a few of the thing from this, your answer will be correct, I can say. So the next is, how does Oracle RAC handles a node eviction and reconfiguration? This is also a very important question. Like, node eviction occurs when a node becomes unresponsible or is deemed unhealthy. Means your nodes is not able to vote in the voting list, then it will be considered as a unresponsible. Oracle RAC automatically detects a node failure and initiates a reconfiguration to adjust the cluster membership. And cluster, the third is the cluster synchronization service CSS component manage the coordination of a node eviction and reconfiguration. So means there will be a question from this also, like who is responsible for managing the node eviction and reconfiguration. So the answer will be cluster synchronization service. That is this component is responsible for managing the coordination of node eviction and reconfiguration. The next is, how does Oracle RAC provides a high availability? Oracle RAC achieves a high availability through its distributed architecture by spreading the database workload across the multiple node. It reduces the risk of a single point of failure. If the node or instance fails, the workload is automatically shifted to another node, ensuring continuous database availability. The next is, what is voting disk and OCR? Yeah, voting disk is very important point here in RAC platform. So you should have a very good understanding on voting disk. O- Oracle RAC use the voting disk for managing a cluster membership by way of health check or arbitrates cluster ownership amongst the instance. In case of network failure, the voting disk must reside in the shared disk. A node must be able to access more than half of the voting disk at any time. This is very important line. A node must be able to access more than half of the voting disk at any time. For example, if you have a three voting disk configured, then a node must be able to means a node must be able to access at least two two of the voting disks at any time. If a node cannot access the minimum required number of a voting disks, it is evicted or removed from the cluster. So this is very important, like a node must be able to access more than half of the voting days at any time, then only it will be able to survive and it will be considered as a member of a voting this. Otherwise it will be responsible for eviction and it will remove from the cluster. That's how the voting this work actually. And the next is in the same OCR is Oracle Cluster Registry. Oracle Cluster Registry holds the information about the node instance services and ASM storage. If used, it also contain states information that are available and up or similar. OCR must reside on a shared disk. This is accessible by all the nodes in your cluster, and OCR is also responsible for starting your cluster ware. The next is, what are the administrative tasks involved of voting disk? They are following administrative tasks responsible for performed by the voting disk. First is backing up the voting disk, recovering a voting disk, adding a voting disk, deleting a voting disk, um, moving a voting disk, and also you can consider um, deciding which nodes to be the part of voting disk or which needs to be removed. That is also a card task of voting disk to decide. So these are the administrative tasks that voting disk perform. Can you add voting disk online? Do you need a voting disk backup? Yes, as per the document, if you have a multiple voting disk, you can add online. But if you have only one voting disk, by that cluster will be down as it lost. You just need to start a CRS in exclusive mode and add the voting disk using a below command like CRS add voting disk and that path. Oracle recommends us to use a DDL command to back up voting disk with a minimum size of 4K KB. And for Windows platform, you can go with OCopy command. So these are the important question. In the next little lecture, I'll be covering a few more important questions. So thanks for watching till here. Just I'm keeping this video till here only because I don't want to make it so long. So thanks for watching till here.